my computer, and I hope this is working. All right, let's see how it's going. Yeah, we'll get rid of that one. Okay, I guess I'll have to do that later. And let's see if we are repopulating. Okay, I see myself. I'm looking. What am I doing? Okay, I think I'm on. I hope this is coming through. So I'll just wait to see people repopulate here. Okay, so we have a few people on. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. We had problems, so let me know. We're going to talk about something yummy, so it will be worth it. Just let everybody populate here. Yes. Okay, still can't hear me. Let me double. Okay, so let me check something here. I'm back. I can see and hear you. Yay, we've got someone seeing and hearing. And I think someone else said they were having a hard time. Anyone else? Anyone else have any feedback on how you're seeing and hearing? So, yes, let's see. Yeah, it says it should be coming through. So, okay, I'm going to dive in. We don't want to spend all our time on the altar of technology. I actually want to connect with you, but I can't do that if the technology is not working. So we're going to talk about the epicenter of the universe. This is a good message, and it's based off my Marked by Love book with some yummy things that are going on here. So let me double check something here. And someone said they can't hear me. Check to see that your audio is going right, Ruby, because I know Randallyn said she can see and hear. So I don't know. I don't know how to fix anything else. So Jesus, just help all the technology things. Oh, he says, sounds awesome. Okay. We vote for awesome. All right. So it could be something on your end. Maybe your volume needs to come up. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and while you play with that, I'm going to let you, we're just going to dive in and do this. So, so we are talking about the epicenter of the universe. This is originally inspired from my Marked by Love book. And I do need to let you know that my Marked by Love revised and expanded book is coming out. The launch date is May 15th, not today's the 5th. So that's what we're working really hard to get that to happen. Good morning. And that one has over 100 pages of extra yumminess, revised and expanded. So I'm really excited to get that to you. That is a labor of love, and it's a ton of labor. So that'll be really good for those of you who are interested in that. So it's going to still have the love encounter breaks, and it's going to have a lot more on the areas because we talk so much about God as love, as the person of love. And then we run into all these really hard things where love doesn't seem like love. Well, if he's love, how come dit to dit to dit? And if he's love, how come that? And so I really grapple with the tough, nitty gritty issues, as well as help just expand on the encounters that you can have with love to just really grow and just encounter God as the person of love in a fresh way. So welcome from Pakistan. So we're talking about the epicenter of the universe. And the epicenter of the universe is not it is a mystery, but it's Christ, it's God, it's Father, Son, and Spirit. But we're going to talk about it in more of a poetic way, more of an experiential way, because world is crazy. There's craziness going on in the world. There's craziness going on in our lives. There's times when we're just stressed out, when we're in fear, when we're in pain, when we're suffering, and we're in lack, when we are confusion, and we need a grounding. We desperately need a grounding. And when it feels like, everything's coming off its hinges, and people are really going, just going ballistic with so many different things, we need a center. We need a center that holds. And the problem is that we've tried to make a bunch of things work as the center of our lives that don't work, that fail us. And they're not necessarily bad things. When you make your family and friends, those are good things. Those are eternal gifts, right? And God knows family near and dear. I'm all about family, but I can't make them the center of everything. They don't have enough oomph to uphold my life, right? When we make friends the center of our lives, they will fail us too. And it's not their failing. It is the fact that they were never designed to be the center of our lives. They're the thing that upholds us. Some people make their careers that, even ministry, and that can be very dangerous, because you can think that you've made God the center of your life, but what you've made is ministry the center of your life. We need to be careful. That could be tricky. And we can fool ourselves or be fooled. Okay. It's the person of Christ. It's the person of Father, Son, and Spirit that we're one with that makes the center of our lives, right? Sometimes people make causes. You see this a lot. And it changes. It's just one cause after the next. And causes are really important. We need to save the animals. We need to help people that are underprivileged. We need to help people that don't have voices. We need to save people that are victims, not save, but, like help evolve in their helping them. Okay. Hobbies and interests. People who make, maybe sports or, it could be anything, golf, I don't know, just anything that is the center of your life that is not God will fail you, Some people have put their pain and past trauma, that's kind of the thing that defines their life. That is not what defines your life. It may have impacted your life. It may have broadsided your life. It may have decimated your life, but it is not the one who created your life and how you get into a good place. You see, only God has enough spiritual cohesion to hold all things, to sustain all things. He is the epicenter of the universe and through whom all things are upheld. And when you think about it and you start tracking with God as Father, Son, and Spirit, as the person of love, through him all things consist, who is the epicenter. Literally, love makes the world go round. Love makes the cosmos go round. Love sustains all things. Love is the motive and the presentation of who God is. And literally, he holds all things together. You see, that's what gives meaning and context to our lives. When you suffer, and we all do, this is a part of the human existence. When you suffer, it needs to have meaning. We get into despair not just because we suffer, but when our suffering seems to have no meaning and no end, right? And so God, in his in who he is as the person of love, not only is with you in your suffering. He suffers as you suffer, he suffers. Okay. And then he's also with you in it to bring you out of it, to transcend it, to bring meaning, to bring context, and then ultimately beauty for ashes. Hi there. Hi, Gerald. I love my expired account. That's adorable. Welcome. So, this is why it's so important. What is sustaining us? What does everything revolve around? And, it was so funny yesterday. It wasn't funny at all. Actually, I was so stressed yesterday. We just have so many really, really good things in a very, very short period. And it is just like, oh my gosh, there's just so much. And I'm doing a book launch. So all of it. And they're all good things, by the way. But it's very, very stressful because each one has demands. And so I woke up really stressed and like, dang, I need to preach myself my own message, which I do. But, God is so sweet because in that when everything feels like it's flying off, the earth is flying, everything's crazy, right? Going back to that place inside you that's deeper than all of it is what roots you. Does the Catherine Toon Show have any sponsors? No, feel free to send money my way. Thank you. You're adorable. Thank you. No, it doesn't. I sponsor myself. But I do accept, I'm being very casual with that. I do accept donations, which was lovely. But I don't have any specific sponsors. Does that help? So I pay my own way. And that was such a great question. It knocked me off. Jesus, where were you? Oh yeah. So it's talking about, when you're stressed and you're whatever, you go down, you need to go deep inside to that place. And so that's what I did in my stress, because I actually work to live my own messages. And I went in my stress and I was like, Jesus, you're in there. And he said, Catherine, you need to take a break. So I needed to spend some time pulling back and reconnecting with the one who is the epicenter of the universe. And then I needed to take a break. He gave me something very practical. And then we spent a lot of time early this morning reconnecting with him as the epicenter of the universe. Listen, if God is the epicenter of the universe, ultimately it is going to be okay. And that is my message to you. You see, if your life were built on any of these good things that I mentioned, on family and friends and careers and causes and hobbies and interests, and even on kind of maybe your experience, and sometimes the trauma is what, if your life is built on that, it will fail you. Good things will fail you because they were never designed to be your source. See, God is the epicenter of the universe, is the person through whom all things consist. All things move around. If we think about the created realm and we think about everything coming down to an atomic level, like all your atoms, right? And then we think about everything in the subatomic level, we get to places where it's energy, it's light, and it is God through whom all things consist. He's literally holding all the atoms of your being together. And he's literally holding all the atoms of the seen realm together. He's the glue. He is one with and in whom all things consist. And see, we have to have a place that will hold for eternity. And I did an interview with Brian Zahnd. So it'll come out on my Perspectives podcast I think this coming week, actually. It's about his book, The Wood Between the Worlds. And he literally just basically says, there was a part of it that brought these issues out. That it's the only thing that has enough substance to withstand time, space, all contingencies. And so if love is the epicenter of the universe, that means everything was created in love. You were created in love. The seen realm was created in love. All of God's creation, God loves. And when there's been perversions of that creation, which happens, that's what actually sin is about, right? When there's perversions of that, his creation is loved, and what has perverted it is what he actually has his wrath towards, right? What has perverted things? When we yield to the entity of sin, hamartia, we pervert our original design, and God hates that influence that caused us to be less than the beautiful creations of who we are. So what God is doing in response is redeeming all things, And so I just wanted to focus a little bit on some of the scriptures that will just help us hone in to him as the epicenter, as the center of all things. This is where you get grounded again. You get your peace back again. If you're trying to find peace in anything ultimately but God, it will fail you. And this is why a lot of times when we're trying to get peace, we go to beautiful places. We go to nature. We go to, a lot of times we go to have some solitude, right? And that helps us connect with something that is greater than ourselves. And let me give you a clue. Oh, that's Jesus. The thing is, God in his creation, he doesn't always have to, shove it in your face. It's me, it's me, it's me, it's me. He's so humble. That's one of the beautiful attributes of love. And so we go there to reconnect with the epicenter of all things, who's in us, who's one with us. Okay, so let me add some, I'm going to go back here a little bit. So let's go to Colossians 1:17. This is the New Revised Standard Updated Edition. This just cracks me up, but it's long, but I want to be accurate for you. It says, he, which is Christ himself, is before all things, and in him all things hold together. So love is the glue that holds all things together. Love is the glue that holds you together. Love is the glue as I'm not talking about the feeling, okay? I'm talking about the person, because God is love. 1 John 4:8-16. God is love, and as the person of love, he is what holds everything together. And I'm looking at some of the names that are flashing up, and I know your stories. I know the hellholes you've been through, and the fact that you're here and showing up as just lovely people. It's like, that is a miracle, right? That you not only survived, but you're able to be hopeful and loving and embrace life in the midst of tragedy. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good to see you, right? And so he himself, Christ himself, the person of love, is before all things. So he's preeminent. Now, he doesn't lord the way over things over the way the world lords, He's Lord because he actually is a benign overruler that rules a kingdom of love, of light, of truth, of life, okay, of all good things, right? And in him, all things hold together. And he is the glue that holds all things together. So if you feel like you are falling apart, if you feel that your world is falling apart, he is the one that will hold you together. Good morning, Raymond. I'm so happy to see you, right? He is the one that will hold you all together. He is what will hold through eternity, right? Everlasting life starts as we awaken to him in us. It's knowing God the Father and Jesus, his son. That's eternal life, and it lasts forever. He is the glue in the seen realm. he is the glue of the unseen realm. I'm from Colorado, is where I'm from. Okay, so let's go to Colossians 1:20. It says, and through him, God was pleased to reconcile to himself all things, whether in earth or in heaven, by making peace through the blood of his cross. So he is pleased. So God, so I just want to say this delightful thing about God, because God is so delightful and he's delighted in you, by the way, not in everything we do, we get it, but in you, oh yeah. It says was God was pleased to reconcile to himself. This gave him pleasure. You give him pleasure. His created realm gives him pleasure. When his created realm spins out and destruction happen, obviously he grieves. So he is co-suffering love. But you, in showing up as a son and daughter, this is my beloved son, this is my beloved daughter, in whom I'm well pleased. Okay, so he was well pleased to reconcile, bring back to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven. So let me just quick quiz. In your world, okay, in your experience, what is not in earth or in heaven? Everything is in earth or in heaven. And you can talk about hell, but that's actually a perverted created realm. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, we can debate on what hell is. We're going to talk about hell in just a second. But he's bringing back to himself. You see, God has lost nothing. Has lost nothing. Even people that have died, he loses nothing, because they're all in him. In him, all things consist. So it may be across the veil of death, right? But that means they're just waiting for you when you get there. You know, so many people who have passed before me, people that it broke my heart that they passed. And then one of the things the Lord comforted me with, and he can comfort you with too, is that you're able to engage in him, knowing that person and seeing them. And it just brings a comfort, like they're waiting for you. We have a cloud of witnesses, the people that have gone before us, that are cheering you on because they know, oh, wow, God is the epicenter of the universe. They know because they've gone the other side. They've been on this side and now they're on the other side. And it's a cloud of witnesses in Hebrews 12:1 that we're surrounded with. It's separated only by a veil, the veil of death, which now instead, hi Stacy, thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Now death becomes a womb into face to face with Christ. Okay. Now we don't have in the seen realm, which is important. We stay here. We got stuff to do. Okay. But what matters has already been secured, has already been reconciled. Oh, hi there. So good to see you. I love you. It's so good to see you all the way from India. Yes. I hope you guys are doing well. I preached there at your church. So that was lovely. So he's reconciling things which are in earth, which are in heaven, making peace through the blood of his cross. The blood was shed. That was a necessary covenantal thing, because God so valued you, so values his created realm. He loves his created realm, that he says, I'm going in. If this is what's necessary to win back. Oh, you live in Dallas. Welcome. I was actually your way, not just 2 weeks ago. So went preaching out there. But anyway, so if that's what was necessary, God was diving in to win back what was lost. Christ came to seek and save that which was lost. Where are we lost? We're actually lost in our minds. We don't know who we are as the sons and daughters of God. But when we connect to God as the epicenter of the universe, when we connect with him inside us, okay, he shows us who we are. And we start to wake up as sons and daughters of God and we start the things that are holding us in bondage start to slide off. And then we start to partner with God as answers for the solutions of a realm that is groaning for us to wake up. We start to become solutions. We experience more solutions and we start to become solutions. It's part of the great redemptive process, the restoration of all things. And God does not miss a spot. And he's in hot pursuit of every place in me, every place in you that does not know him. That does not know him. And I'm not saying, did you say a prayer and do you call yourself a Christian? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, what are the places in you that need to know him better? This is about intimacy. This is about connecting with God as the epicenter of the universe that is drawing all things to himself, whether in heaven, whether in earth, whether under the earth. I've never been asked this question. Are you half mixed with Asian American? That is actually my Asian brothers and sisters. I love you, but I don't think I have any in that. I am pretty German, smattering of all the European thing. So anyway, but thank you for the compliment because it's beautiful people, aren't they? Okay, aren't all of you my Asian brothers and sisters? Okay. Let's go here. Let's go to I'm trying to think if I want that one. Yes. I've been looking at these. I'm like, that's good, but that's not the one I want. So just give me a second. So with this connection with God as the epicenter of the universe, right? That when we connect with that, we connect with the eternal. We connect with God as the person who's able to actually pull off the redemption of all things, right? So love swallowed up all things in himself and is drawing all things to himself. Yeah. This is why you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength, because he's in you to give you strength to do all things. You do the things that he is calling you to do, right? That's why all things are possible. That's why in him, all things can work together for good. Now, let's be clear. Not all things are good. There are so many things that are horrific. Okay. But he's able to turn it for good. He's able to bring beauty for ashes, right? And John 1:3, it says, through him, through Christ, all things were made, and without him, nothing was made that was made. So, this thought that something is in Christ and out of Christ is actually a delusion, because since God is what all things consist, is the epicenter of the universe, then all things consist in him, and he is one with all things. So there's no separation except in our minds. Psalm 139 says, if I make my bed in Sheol, where can I flee from your presence? If I make my bed in hell or Sheol, the realm of the dead, even you are there. Well, Jesus, what are you doing in hell? Well, I'd like to say he's in hell to get you the hell out of hell, right? But he's in hell because sometimes we create a lot of our own hellholes. We create a sense of separation in our minds, right? And it's there we experience that. So he's with us. And the word says that he was with us. He came to his own, but his own didn't recognize him, right? John 1. And so this is awakening up. So as people, when God is everywhere. God really is omnipresent. And I object. I don't want to say I take offense, but I object when some of my beloved, well-meaning, well-studied colleagues say that somehow God isn't in every person. Well, if God's not in you, you're not living. So God didn't separate from his creation. He created his creation. He's in all things. in him all things subsist. So even the non-believers are subsisting. God's in them, but the problem is they don't know it. And that's our problem. If you're a believer, okay, and you're struggling with a sense of separation, there's something in your mind that doesn't know about this union, that is somehow gotten disconnected with God in your mind as the epicenter of all things. And that's what God is healing. Whether it's in the believer, whether it's in the unbeliever, God is omnipresent. God is everywhere. So we're waking up. He is the epicenter of the universe. And so it's whether we believe, whether we don't believe, or whether we're believing believers or unbelieving believers. Okay. And we're all kind of both, actually, if the truth be known. We like to make the categories, but God is just asking you as a son and daughter, trust me more. Can you trust me here? Can you trust me here? I want you to know me here. I want to know you there. It's all about intimacy with a God that sustains all things. Oh, I love this one. You ready for a juicy one? Okay. Let's do Romans 8:32. And this is from the King James Version. It says that he that did not spare his son, but freely or graciously gave him up, how would he possibly, if he didn't spare his own, how will he possibly refuse to give us all things? How can he not give us all things? Now, in the all things that he's giving us, he's not going to give us something that's evil. Evil does not come from God. Evil is a perversion of what was good. So when God created all things, where did evil come from? It's a perversion of good. It's a turning away. When you turn away from light, where is that's where darkness is. Where you turn away from truth, that's where lies are. Where you turn away from love, that's where fear is. Fear is the opposite of love. And so that's where evil was created. But God will give you all things, all good things. How will he graciously not give us all good things? He gave you himself. What is he going to deny you as a son and a daughter? Now, it may be he may wait a bit or something. Maybe you need a development in something. Maybe you're asking amiss and he needs to develop you. Maybe you're not ready for something. I don't know. But if it's good, God's not going to deny it to you. Yeah. And so, but it has to be really good in his definition of good. Not we get kind of swirly with that. We twist it, so we need to go to him, right? It says, for from him and through him and for him are all things. And, sometimes I used to think, wow, Jesus, that sounds kind of selfish. Like for you are all things. But the beautiful thing is it's for his pleasure. Right? God created you in his pleasure. He is pleased with you. He knows who you are. The problem is you don't know who you are, and I don't know who I am, which is why we act in the sinful ways of being that we do, right? It's a mistaken identity, and then we act in these sinful ways of being. And so God is delighted in you as the epicenter of the universe, who freely gives us all things, is delighted with you as a son and daughter, and he wants you to know it. This is what will ground you when things are crazy. This is what will ground us in a crazy American political system. Oh my God, help us. But, there are other crazy ones out there too, so we're not alone. But it is quite the thing. This is what will ground you when craziness is happening around you, when pain hits, when you get broadsided, when you feel alone, when there's loss, when death happens, right? When you get a horrible diagnosis, when you go bankrupt, pick a card, any card. This is what will ground you. And God is the person of love, is the epicenter of all things. He created you in love, to love, and gave you one commandment, to love as he loves. And so this is us waking up as sons and daughters, doing the one thing that he's called us to do. And it looks like many different things. Yeah, it looks like many different things. Well, guys, I actually have to go. I apologize for the crazy beginning of the recording. Don't know what was happening. But Robert, my son, has his birthday celebration today. So we're doing that. And oh, by the way, and I just want to let you know too. I just want to remind you. I can't remember if I did it in this one or the other one, but I'll just say it again. My Marked by Love revised and expanded edition is coming out. So this is the old one, and it is staying because it is actually really good. Get this one if you don't have it. But if you want to wait for the revised and expanded edition, which will come out on Amazon. We're saying May 15th. Oh my God, you want to get that. I'm so excited about this project. We're working really hard to get that to you. So that will be coming out on Amazon on the 15th of May. You want to get it. So anyway, it's been really fun. And thank you for the birthday wishes and all your kind words. Thank you guys. I am going to run. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.